Hello again everybody and welcome back to Steam Code. Last time we took a look at how to create our J-frame window. If you take a look here, we have our window 720 by 720. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to make the buttons, the cells that are going to be inside of our game window over here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to create a new Java class and we're going to call this cell. Okay. Now, let's just a couple things we want to remember here. So the cell, each cell is going to be basically a button. So before we do anything, we're going to want to go ahead and extend J button. Basically what this J button, basically what this allows us to do here is it basically makes the cell a J button class, meaning that the properties of the J button are now a part of the cell class, which makes the cell a J button. So each of the cells that you see in this example here, each of these are J buttons. Each of these are J buttons here. So basically, another way to think about this is saying that a cell is, the words extend is, a cell is a J button. Okay. And make sure also that we're importing our J button class with this statement of here. Okay. Let's go ahead and create a couple of variables here. So the first variable we're going to be doing is a private int type. Okay, so each cell is going to have a type. Okay, so there are three different types of cells that we are concerned about here. The first type, hold on one second. The first type of cell, the first type of cell is going to be a blank cell. Okay, so that's going to be type 0. There's going to be three different types. So the first one is type 0. That is a blank cell. That cell that has no information on it. The next type of cell is going to be a mine cell. Okay, so a cell that is a mine. And then the third type of cell is going to be a cell with a number on it, which basically means that there is a mine in one of the 8 adjacent cells that are next to it. Okay, so there's a number cell, a blank cell, and a mine cell, and they're each going to be represented by an integer. Type 0 is going to be a blank cell, type 1 is a mine, and type 2 is a number cell. Okay, the next variable we're going to be creating here is going to be a private int position. Okay, so the position is going to basically be that position that it has on the board of the game. So after that, we're going to be creating our next two variables, which are going to be both booleans. So if we go to private boolean discovered, and private boolean flagged. Okay, so discovered basically means if the cell has been clicked on, that's a discovered cell, and then flagged is another variable that's going to represent whether or not we have flagged our cell. If you remember from the first video, a flag cell is when you right click on the cell, it has F on it and you cannot click it, and that's basically to let yourself know that there is a mine there. So for example, if I click on this, I can assume that there's going to be a mine here, so I would flag that cell. Okay, so that's what flagged means here in this context. Let's go and make our constructor now. So we're going to say public cell, and we're going to pass in all these instance variables we have. So the type, hold on. Okay, so int type, position, boolean discovered, and boolean flagged. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and assign our instance variables to these parameters here. So this dot type, which is referring to our instance variable here. Let's make sure we're clear on it's the instance variable. We're not referring to this. So this dot type, which is the class type, belongs or is assigned to our variable type here. we have assigned our instance variables to the parameters that we have in our class. All right, that'll pretty much do it for our cell constructor. Next, we're gonna put in our getters and setters. So we're gonna put, the first one we're gonna do is public int get type. All right, let's just put a comment in here that basically specifies what our types are again. So 0 is gonna be an empty cell or a blank cell. 1 is going to be a mine, and 2 is going to be a number cell, which means that that cell is adjacent to a mine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and return type. Next one, public int get position. We're going to return position. Then we're going to do our getters. We're going to do a getter and setter for it discovered and flagged. So we're going to first do public int is discovered, and we're going to return discovered. And then we're also going to be, oh, not int, boolean. Then we're going to do public void set discovered, because that's something we're going to want to change when we click on our cells. So we're going to say, we're going to put in our parameter here, boolean d, and we're going to say this dot discovered equals d. Then we're going to do the same thing for flagged. Then public void set flagged, and we're going to put in boolean f. All right, now that our getters and setters are complete, that'll pretty much for now be our cell class. We have our constructor, which has a type, the position, the discovered and flagged variables that we're going to need for the cell class, and we also have our getters and setters here. Now, if you notice, we run the program, and nothing really shows up. We don't see our J buttons, and that's because we haven't actually added our buttons to what is known as a J panel, and we haven't added that panel to our frame here. We haven't actually implemented the code to do that. So in our next video, that's what we're going to be covering. We're going to be covering how to create the grid of cells and how to be adding that grid as a J panel onto our frame. All right, if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And until the next video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.